Can you hear me, Gary?
I can.
How you doing?
I'm doing good. How are you?
Doing well. Just a very wet day.
Yeah, it's been raining hard. They told me how to change my name to say Gary Mitchell instead of iPhone.
What is this? What'd you do? Because my
Um,
computer camera.
I right clicked on my name on probably where it says iPhone, and then I was able to say rename,
All right.
type it in.
Let's see. Let's see. I'm not seeing iPhone, though. Let me go to more.
Yeah, I heard you do have to do more, maybe.
Oops. Hey, Mona Lisa. Let's try this again. We got her there, Gary.
Except that it's like in blue or something hard to read. How did that happen?
Probably just the settings of the screen we're on right now.
No, yours are white. Mine are white. Is there?
Oh, you changed the color of your letters? I want to do that.
No, I just they're white on my side. So hold on. Here we go.
Gary, you're seeing things.
Are they white for you?
Yeah, yeah.
Really? Oh, they're okay now. Yeah, it was me. It wasn't you. It was where I had my mouse apparently was.
Gary, yeah, he set me up, is what's going on.
All right. No, I had my pointer on your name thing, and then it like put this black thing up, a bottom.
Good evening, Mr. Bagley, Ms. Watson.
Good evening.
Good evening.
Reverend Mason, Unity of Kalamazoo, a meditation. Today, with each breath, I draw upon divine peace. I am one with and now demonstrate the power of peace. Enfolding all my concerns in a cushion of calm, I think peaceful thoughts and hold peaceful intentions. My mind, body, spirit, and soul are centered in divine peace. By the power of spiritual strength, I stand steady and ready in times of confusion and change. I stand strong and sure, steady and ready to bring clarity and resolution. I am spiritually strong. Thank you, God.
A holy one of blessing. I find myself in a place where it is difficult to participate in the Jewish life I have built. While my soul yearns for tradition, I face limitations. I feel compromised. I know that above all, you and our sages have taught that life must not be endangered. Healing of both body and spirit are a supreme Jewish value, and so I must adjust my involvement to follow your highest call to care for my health. While we are permitted to forego some observances in the interest of life and health, I still pray that you understand that I do this not out of neglect, but because of circumstance. As I move through this trying period, oh God, please know that I honor as best I can the spirit, intent, and sanctity of what is holy to our people.
Hello friends, this is Adrian Vasquez from Reconcilio. I hope everybody's doing well. I'd like to share just some words from a good writer and poet, Gabriel García Márquez. Hola amigos, Adrián Vázquez del Concilio, espero que estén bien. Quiero compartir unas palabras del escritor Gabriel García Márquez. It is not true that people stop pursuing dreams because they grow old. They grow old because they stop pursuing dreams. No es cierto que las personas dejan de perseguir sueños porque envejecen. Envejecen porque dejan de perseguir sueños. So these words are very deep and very important at these times. I think I believe that it doesn't matter, our age. It doesn't matter the situation. I think we need to continue pursuing our dreams, even in the most difficult times, because that gives us a hope, a way to move forward. Estas palabras son muy profundas y muy importantes en esta situación, de que no importa la edad, no importa la situación, de que debemos de continuar persiguiendo nuestros sueños o los sueños para asegurar que tengamos un camino. I think moving forward, it's what we need to do in, like I said, in the most difficult times. Working as community, working as united as one. It's what we need to ensure that we have a future, a path for everybody. So the dreams of everybody that are unique, but I think most of the times we look for good dreams, for good things for everybody. Yo creo que cada quien tiene diferentes sueños, diferentes metas, pero los sueños que son buenos deberían de ser compartidos, donde podemos estar unidos, podemos estar como una comunidad. So I encourage you to continue pursuing your dreams. Doesn't matter your age, doesn't matter the times. I think we need to continue fighting for our dreams. So les pido que continúen luchando por sus sueños, no importa la situación, no importa su edad. Los sueños yo creo que es lo que nos mantiene vivos. La vida continúa, no importa las situaciones difíciles. Tenemos que seguir adelante. So lives continue, and I think dreams will help us move forward. So thank you for listening. I hope these words can help you in these times. Gracias. Espero que estas palabras les ayuden. Espero que estén bien. Muchas gracias.
Assalamu alaikum, my dear brothers and sisters in faith and my friends. My name is Maliha Raza Khan and I am a Muslim. I attend Kalamazoo Islamic Center. I have been asked by my friends at ISAC to recite some verses from my holy book, which is the Quran, which can give solace and comfort during the times of stress and anxiety that we are going through currently. So I thought that I would recite one of my favorite chapters in the Quran, which is called Surah Duha, chapter of the morning brightness. Anytime that I have ever felt sad or despondent or stressed in my life, I have always recited this chapter and these verses, and I've always felt a sense of comfort and solace. So I thought maybe that I could share those with you. So I will first recite it in Arabic and then I will translate it for you. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم والضحى والليل إذا سجى ما ودعك ربك وما قلى وللآخرة خير لك من الأولى ولسوف يعطيك ربك فترضى ألم يجدك يتيما فآوى ووجدك ضالا فهدى ووجدك عائلا فأغنى فأما اليتيم فلا تقهر وأما السائل فلا تنهر وأما بنعمة ربك فحدث. The translation of that is this. In the name of Allah, most beneficent, most merciful. By the morning brightness and by the night when it is still, calm and dark. Your Lord has not forsaken you, nor does he hate you. Indeed, your future is better than your present. And your Lord will give you, and you will be so well pleased with it. Did he not find you an orphan and give you refuge? Did he not find you lost and guided you? And he found you poor and made you self-sufficient. Therefore, treat not the orphan with oppression, and repulse not the petitioner, and proclaim the favors of your Lord. So in this chapter, Allah is asking us to not be sad, not be despondent, not be depressed. In fact, he wants us to think about the bright morning sun, because the dawn or the morning is a symbol of hope. So he wants us to stop feeling despondent and sad and to focus on the positives in our life. So he says, by the morning brightness and by the night when it is calm. So he's asking us to calm down and not feel so, anxious. And he's promising us that whatever we are going through right now, all the stresses, all the anxieties, all the difficulties, all the sickness, one day it's going to be in the past. We are going to get through this. And he's reminding us that during all the times that we have been down and out, he's the one who has helped us. Whenever we have had financial difficulties or we've had emotional problems, he's always been with us, and he's never going to abandon us, and he loves us. He's reminding us of this, and he's promising us. And then he's also asking us right now to stop focusing so much on ourselves. He wants us to look at those that have so much less than us, the displaced, the homeless, the refugees, the needy. And so he's asking us not to be so egocentric, so self-focused. Look outside and see who are the people who need our help, and help those people. Spread the love, share our blessings that he has given us, and look around you and proclaim all the blessings that he has given us. So that's why this chapter is it gives me so much solace and comfort, because I know that my Lord has promised that all these difficulties will be behind us, and that one day we will be in a state of felicity and happiness, and it's not always going to be doom and gloom. So that's why I'm trying to focus more on outside myself rather than complaining and criticizing about what is going on with me right now. And I hope that this chapter and these verses have given you some sense of hope and optimism, just as it has done for me. Thank you.
Hello, Isaac family. This is Reverend Rachel Lonberg. I'm the minister at People's Church of Kalamazoo, and I would like to offer up this prayer for you all. Sources of reason and radiance, sources of courage and compassion, keep watch with those who work or watch or weep this day. May the suffering be soothed. May the weary find rest. May the sick be tended. May the dying and those who love them find peace. May the joyous be shielded. And may all of us know that we are wrapped in a love that surrounds us always, a web that connects us to all that exists.
Got the whole world in his hands. He's got the whole wide world in his hands. He's got the whole world in his hands. He's got the whole world in his hands.
He's got all of our families in his hands. He's got all of our families in his hands. He's got all of our families in his hands. He's got the whole world in his hands.
Él tiene el mundo entero en sus manos. Él tiene el mundo entero en sus manos.
He's got everybody here in his hands. He's got everybody there in his hands. He's got everybody here in his hands. He's got the whole world in his hands.
Él tiene el mundo entero en sus manos. Él tiene el mundo entero en sus manos.
He's got all our families in his hands. He's got all our families in his hands. He's got all our families in his hands. He's got the whole world in his hands. He's got everybody here in his hands. He's got everybody there in his hands. He's got everybody here in his hands. He's got the whole world in his hands.
ISAC stands for Interfaith Strategies for Advocacy and Action in the Community. ISAC was formed by a diverse set of clergy in response to disparities within our community.
ISAC believes in justice and equity.
ISAC stands for unity and love.
Hola amigos del Concilio, hoy estoy aquí haciéndoles un video para decir un poco sobre ISAC, la organización con quien colaboramos, una organización que hace bastante cosas contra la injusticia en colaboración de muchas iglesias y organizaciones.
ISAC believes that we are on this journey of life together.
ISAC is a family of diverse congregations and organizations.
ISAC believes in the power of collaboration and relationships.
ISAC believes that together we can do anything.
ISAC believes in putting our faith into action.
Es importante todo el trabajo que ellos hacen, ya que se encarga de asegurar de que muchas cosas que están pasando en nuestra comunidad sean eliminadas en cuestión de injusticias.
ISAC believes in the power of the people raising their collective voices.
ISAC is working to build the beloved community that Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. spoke of, building it here in Kalamazoo County.
A place where abundance, community, equity, hope, and most of all love are infused into our practices and policies. A place where each individual and every person is held as beloved.
Well, good evening, beloved community. We are honored that each of you have joined us on this magnificent night. Welcome to the virtual Isaac Public Meeting 2020. We are honored that each of you have taken this time out to share with us. Isaac, as you heard in many of our speakers, utilizes this quote from Dr. Martin Luther King Jr., where he spoke of the beloved community. He believed that the beloved community, while not devoid of conflict, is free of violence. It is a place in which our deepest values of abundance, equity, community, hope, and most of all, love are infused into our policies and practices so that every individual is held as beloved. My name is Doug King. I serve on the executive committee of Isaac, and we are honored that you are here. We are certainly in a time of urgency, but with that urgency, it's a time even more than ever for a time of love, a time to come together, a time of collaboration, a time of concern, a time of truth, a time of preparing our hearts and minds to take social justice concerns into a productive action. This is a space of building the beloved community virtually. You know, this is interesting. This has been a challenging time. This has been a painful time for many of us. And let us please take a moment to remember all of those who have been impacted by this global pandemic. And we certainly, our hearts and prayers and thoughts go out to all of the families and friends of those who have been impacted by this virus. So yes, it's a painful time, and it's been a year of uncertainty. This pain has impacted us in new and deep ways. But with that pain, we understand that we need to take care and to lean in when we can. And when we can't understand the importance, we must also be sure that we take care of ourselves. You are important, and taking care of yourself is important. So we must be reminded not only to take care of ourselves, but the need, especially in this time, to look out for each other. Yes, we are each other's keeper. Our differences do not divide us. Our differences help to strengthen the beloved community. So we come together today with all of our differences, with all of our various opinions, with everything that we hold that might seemingly to divide us. Today, we come together as one, and that one is the beloved community. Many of you have already taken advantage of this, but we just want to certainly know that the chat area is on Facebook and YouTube Live, and so that interaction is needed, and we welcome you to please comment in the chat. Send up hand claps and shouts of affirmation, words that can connect each one of us together, and just reply with other various comments. But as a reminder, this is the beloved community, and this is a beloved community chat. So thank you for no disrespectful or derogatory words. We invite you to reach out to us with questions and conversations or concerns. We are nonpartisan. We are about justice. So we invite you to this work, understanding that we may not always agree, but we will stay at the table for our beloved community. We will not get up. We will stay at the table. We are focused on what we agree on, that all community members, that is each one of you, are held as beloved in both word and deed. We believe we must stay at the table so that change can and will happen. So welcome. Again, we are honored that you are here. We are going to transition into what we used to call kind of our banner processional, where people would walk around and hold the banners for their organizations and ministries. So we are challenged to be able to do that virtually. But I am going to read the names that And as I read the names of the churches, organizations, we're just asked you to wave your hands, send up a clap, if you will, when I call your congregation or organization. And you can even write in the chat, "We are here." Christian Church Disciples of Christ, Church Woman United, Coalition for Common Ground, Moms Demand Action for Gun Sense, El Concilio, formerly the Hispanic American Council, First Congregational Church, UCC, First United Methodist Church, First Presbyterian Church, From the Bible Church, Galilee Baptist Church, Grace Covenant Ministries, Greater Faith Empowerment Center, Kalamazoo Friends Meeting, Lutheran Church of the Savior, Metropolitan Kalamazoo Branch NAACP, Mount Zion Baptist Church, North Presbyterian Church, People's Church Unitarian Universalist, Pine Island Presbyterian Church, Portage Chapel Hill United Methodist Church, Second Baptist Church, St. Barnabas Episcopal Church, St. Luke's Episcopal Church, St. Martin of Tours Episcopal Church, Sunnyside United Methodist Church, Tabernacle Church of God in Christ, Temple B'nai Israel, Unitarian Universalist Community Church, Unity of Kalamazoo, Wesley Foundation of Kalamazoo, Westminster Presbyterian Church, and Westwood United Methodist Church. Welcome to all of our churches and organizations.
Thank you, Elder King, and also good evening, beloved community members. So if we were in person right now, this would be the time where we would acknowledge our elected officials, our public officials, community leaders. But since we are virtual, this is a virtual public meeting 2020, we're going to ask that all elected officials, public officials, community leaders, candidates, moms, fathers, sons, daughters, clergy members, anybody who is part of this beloved community, we want to know that you are here in this space. And so we ask you right now, whether you are on YouTube Live or you're watching on Facebook Live, to put your name in the chat. Put your name in the chat, your congregation, your organization, your affiliation, a little smiley face. Just send us a message so we know that you are in this space with us together. And as we continue on through this program, like Elder King said, we invite you to clap your hands with the emojis or to put up the sign of prayer or whatever that you want to say. If something is powerful, put that in the chat. Have those conversations like Elder King said. We are virtual and we are not physically together, but we are most definitely still connected. And so again, welcome all beloved community members.
So now we get to our public meeting purpose, why we are all here tonight. So now is the time that we've been waiting for, the presentation of the issues by our task forces and the ask from our task forces. Because all these issues are concerns that came from our community time of listening. Isaac keeps working on them with you, but we need you to be a part. Housing, anti-racism, community violence are close to our hearts and minds, especially now. Please listen carefully now to these presentations. You are here as community partners and advocating for solutions. To the leaders, the elected leaders, candidates and public officials, you all are here because you are working on solutions, and we want you to work with Isaac and community members so that Kalamazoo County can be more deeply reflected or reflect the beloved community. We certainly want to honor those who are committing tonight that are also working on these issues currently. They agreed to these asks as a supplement to their work and to deepen community collaboration and discussions in this work. So some of these asks that you will hear, the ask may sound like that particular person or group is not doing their work, but we want you to know there is so much amazing work going on in this community that many of us may not even know about. So although they may agree to the ask, their agreement to the ask certainly does not mean that they are not currently working and making significant progress on those issues. They are simply agreeing to continue to work with us on this journey. All of the questions we are asking our candidates and officials have been given to them ahead of time. None of our requests for their support are surprises. We want to remind you that these are not one and done asks. They are asks that extend into the next year and even beyond. So we invite you to be a part of this work, and we invite you to ask questions as we move and grow through these asks collaboratively. We also want to keep you in the loop as these asks unfold. We invite you to work along with us. Just as a friendly reminder, and not even that you'll need it, but to our speakers, you'll have 30 seconds to respond. We ask that you adhere to this in its fullness. But if you don't, we are very happy to remind you that you only have 30 seconds. But listen with your heart. Remember who you are and whose you are. We invite you into this beloved community event and chat. Let us begin.
So it is a pleasure to introduce our first presentation, the Isaac and TRHT Housing Task Force. So if you all are on chat, we would ask you to put some hand claps in the chat and some woo-woos, whatever you can put in there, and welcome them. Show them some love in the chat.
Thank you and good evening. I'm Andrew Chaponda.
I'm Ellen Nelson.
I'm Brenda Henry.
I'm Kathy Faison.
And I'm Parker James.
We have some celebrating to do, y'all. The Housing Equity Ordinance that Isaac proposed at our public meeting 2 years ago passed the Kalamazoo City Commission unanimously. This is transformational because
although the U.S. makes up only 4% of the world's population, we have 25% of its prisoners. And nearly half of all children in the United States have one parent with a criminal record.
In Kalamazoo, the city, an average of 2 evictions are filed each day, and nearly 5 a day in the county. Kalamazoo County has an eviction diversion program, but you have to be ordered to appear in court. So you get an eviction filing on your record, even if you're not evicted.
The largest housing subsidy in the U.S. goes not to voucher holders, but to wealthier homeowners who are majority white and receive billions of dollars in benefits through the home mortgage interest deduction.
We have such a long history of redlining, racially restrictive confidence, and more subtle discrimination that although Kalamazoo County is only 11% Black, 60% of the county's homeless population is Black, and over half are single women with school-aged children.
But now, thanks to the Housing Equity Ordinance, people applying for housing can no longer be automatically rejected if they have a housing voucher or an eviction or a conviction on their record. Now they will get a fair chance for housing, with consideration for their individual circumstances. The Housing Equity Ordinance also includes additional protected classes, protects renters against predatory application fees, and strengthens enforcement by creating a civil rights board to review alleged violations of the ordinance.
Thank you to Vice Mayor Patrice Griffin, who proposed this transformational ordinance to Isaac over 2 years ago, and who has nurtured it ever since. Bravo. Thank you for using your family personal experience of housing discrimination to improve the way the system works for many more people.
Good evening. I'm Vice Mayor Patrice Griffin. I want to thank the Truth, Racial Healing and Transformation and Isaac Housing Task Force for partnering with me, and to the city staff who worked very hard on the details, and to every single one of the Kalamazoo City Commissioners for supporting this housing equity ordinance.
This is a big step towards creating the beloved community, where policies and practices are infused with love, hope, equity, and abundance. But this housing equity ordinance only applies to the city of Kalamazoo. What about all the surrounding municipalities?
Okay, public officials, candidates, community leaders from other parts of Kalamazoo County, please unmute your mic if you can answer yes to this question. Will you work to get a housing equity ordinance adopted in your own municipality? You will have 30 seconds. We'll hear first from Mark Miller, and then we'll hear from Chris Burns and Mary Gustus. So go ahead, Mark.
I want to thank Vice Mayor Patrice Griffin for her leadership. And I promise that I will be working on drafting amendments to our Kalamazoo Township non-discrimination ordinance to incorporate these housing provisions just as soon as this election is over.
Thanks. I'm Chris Burns. I serve on the City Council in Portage. And yes, in Portage, we're going to work to join the likes of Ann Arbor, Lansing, Grand Rapids, East Lansing, Jackson, and now, thanks to the efforts of so many people on this call, Kalamazoo, in prohibiting housing discrimination based on source of income. People who qualify for housing choice vouchers should be able to find safeties and housing in Portage. And there's no reason why when you drive south of Kilgore, you should have differential access to housing. Thanks for all the support, and look forward to having your support as we go through this journey.
Hi, I'm Mary Gustus. I'm the Executive Director of the Comstock Community Center. I'm also running for re-election to the Kalamazoo Valley Community College Board. As soon as I heard that the City of Kalamazoo had supported this ordinance, I immediately sent a copy to the Township of Comstock, asked them to have their attorney review it and to revise it in order to be able to be applicable to Comstock Township. In addition, I have also sent this to all the current township board members in hopes that they will follow up on it. It is my true and constant intention to pursue its implementation in Comstock to benefit our residents.
Thank you all so much for your commitment. At this time, I would like to ask if there are any others from surrounding townships or cities who would like to say yes. Feel free to unmute yourself, and just a reminder that you have 30 seconds.
Yes, this is Jason Knight from Comstock Township. I'm currently on the board of the Comstock Community Center and also a candidate for the township trustee position. And yes, I will make a commitment to push this through with the help of Mary Gustus and other community members and board members, even if not elected to the position of trustee.
I'd like to say yes. This is Anthony Bates, running for County Commissioner, District 7. This is a fantastic idea. I'm glad to hear about it. For Comstock, I'd love to get a copy of that to share with Waukesha, Climax, Charleston, City of Galesburg, and the Village of Climax so that I can bring that to them at the meetings when I attend them.
Fantastic. Anyone else? Okay, Vice Mayor Patrice.
All right, well, thank you so much to all of the leaders for making this commitment. And I would be glad to work with each and every one of you and assist you as you move forward to this process. So just let me know if there's any help that you need.
Okay, y'all already see from my animation that I'm super excited about this progress that's happening. However, the housing equity ordinance by itself doesn't solve the need for more housing in our county. I am Stephanie Hoffman, Executive Director of Open Doors Kalamazoo and co-chair of the Housing Task Force. Do you know that there's already a Kalamazoo County housing proposal at the very end of the November 3rd ballot? Did you know that? If you didn't, now you know. Check out this video.
We're here today to kick off the Homes for All campaign. We're asking voters in Kalamazoo County to vote yes on the millage campaign on the back of their ballot this year.
This millage is a win for our entire community on so many levels. Homes for All will be a model for other communities to replicate. Our community will send a message loud and clear that we are a community that cares deeply for its residents, and we believe housing is a fundamental right for all. Remember to vote, turn the ballot over, and hit that yes.
When it came to Open Doors, I was homeless. I was starting over with nothing. I was sleeping on a couple different couches. I had a minimum wage job, but of course couldn't afford my own apartment. Because of affordable housing, I was able to save enough money that I'm finally a first-time homeowner. So I have a great job at Kalamazoo Loaves and Fishes, where I have the opportunity to help make a difference every day. I'm the delivery coordinator, which has me all over Kalamazoo every day, delivering to our seniors and people physically that just can't make it down to our pantries. And unfortunately, to our huge homeless population, as you can see in the encampments around Kalamazoo and Portage, where people live in a tent and in their cars. Some people have jobs, they just don't have enough to get an apartment or start over. Homelessness is real. There's a lot of men and women out there that just need a chance like me and people to believe in me.
We've had 2 individuals right now who have a HUD Vanish voucher that's given to veterans who have an honorable discharge. And with that, they've put in numerous applications, but there's year-long waiting lists. And so please vote yes.
For a person to be homeless is a shame. For a veteran to be homeless is a tragedy.
95% of the housing stock is inaccessible. Even if you take a ranch-style house, there's a step, the entry step, that makes it inaccessible, let alone the maneuvering space in a lot of places of the bathrooms or the kitchen and that sort of stuff. We need more affordable and accessible housing. We need that vote yes for this millage.
Please join me in voting yes on Homes for All.
So when you think about all those families that have benefited so far from that moment when you said yes on your ballot in 2015, I want you to fast forward to March in 2020, when the Stay Home, Stay Safe order became a reality for many of us. And I thought about all those families that have already been helped, and they were doing what we were doing. They had a home to be safe in, stay healthy in, and do all the things that we were doing. But there were hundreds in Kalamazoo County who could not.
I see individuals, seniors who need affordable housing in our senior housing in River Manor and Comstock. We have a waiting list of about 30 people. We only have 30 units.
And homelessness is not just a Kalamazoo problem. We have homelessness in all 9 of our school districts in Kalamazoo County. Couch surfing is much more common than you think it would be, and it's a shame, and it does not allow kids to maximize their potential.
Some of you know that I worked for over 30 years in the Portage Public Schools as a counselor and guidance director, and I can tell you that those kids, they need to have a home to go home and study for, You say, oh, Portage doesn't have a problem, but you should talk to the superintendent who tells you how many kids are getting free and inexpensive lunches. That gives you a look at where we are in Portage. It's a growing area of need, and homes are needed for those kids to go home and do their homework, and for their moms to be home and help them too.
Kalamazoo County, the time is now, and we need you, and we invite you to build through your vote of yes for a place where there is love, abundance, equity, and hope. Kalamazoo County's beloved community. A place where all individuals are held as beloved, and a place where there are homes for all.
Good evening. I'm Shalana Lewis, the Director of the Truth, Racial Healing, and Transformation, also known as TRHT, at the Kalamazoo Community Foundation. In 2015, when we saw shocking numbers of homeless children in Kalamazoo County, we came together to vote yes for kids. We funded emergency homes for more than 500 families, but that millage ends next year and there are still 700 individuals homeless in Kalamazoo County. Homelessness and housing instability continue to get worse because of COVID-19 and other issues related to economic employment conditions.
The Homes for All plan was created by leaders of our housing agencies and schools, and the Kalamazoo County Board of Commissioners voted 9-1 to put it on the November ballot. It will help homeless families with children of all ages, older adults, veterans, individuals with disabilities, and essential workers risking their lives, but with pay too low to afford market rate rents. We got to do something about this, y'all.
So if you're working full-time at minimum wage, you only make about $20,000 a year. And if you're on Social Security, you might only get around $10,000 a year. Affordable means you don't pay more than 30% of your income for housing. So on minimum wage, only $500 a month is affordable for rent and utilities. Too many people can't even afford the housing that's considered affordable. Homes for All will create housing options for all kinds of people who are working, retired, on disability all over our county.
So, what does the Homes for All millage mean to you? The cost to a homeowner whose house has a market value of $100,000 would be $37.50 a year in the increase. That's 10 cents a day. 10 cents a day. Small change, but a huge impact to our community. So I'm asking public officials, candidates, community leaders, please unmute your mic if you can answer yes to this question. Will you promote Homes for All as you continue to contact Kalamazoo community voters? And will you encourage them to vote yes on the Kalamazoo County housing proposal at the very end of our ballots? You have 30 seconds. We'll first hear from John Hoadley and
Hi, I'm John Hoadley. I'm currently the state representative in Kalamazoo, and I'm the Democratic nominee for Congress in Michigan's 6 congressional districts. I was proud to work with the original group to pass the Vote Yes for Kids campaign, and I'm even more thrilled to be supporting the Homes for All campaign. I've already promoted it on my social media and will continue to encourage folks to vote yes so everyone has a home.
Mary, are you here?
I am here, absolutely. And I'm also super excited to support the housing plan. You know that we are 3,000 units short of affordable housing. It is the Kalamazoo County Board of Commissioners' #1 priority, and we urge everyone to turn over their ballot and vote yes for the housing millage. Thank you so much.
Julie Rogers and Veronica McKissick, are you here?
Yes, I am. Would you like me to go ahead?
Yes, absolutely.
Thank you. I'm Julie Rogers, Kalamazoo County Commissioner and Democratic nominee for State House in the 60th District. I was very proud to support putting this millage on the ballot, and I supported the last millage that was on the ballot too. I'm so thrilled with the positivity and the housing of about 100 families a year from the first millage. People have asked me how the dollars have been spent on the doors, and I emphatically say that we have had a huge difference in the quality of life for these families. I've also been encouraging people on the doors to vote again this time. Thank you so much for having us.
Hello, I'm Veronica McKissick, candidate for the Kalamazoo County Board of Commissioners, District 5, and I am supporting the millage and encouraging the constituents as I campaign to support the millage as well.
Thank you so much. Is Thomas Whitener on the call today?
I am. And I'm super excited for the Homes for All proposal. I'm glad to hear that it's getting so much support, and I look forward to helping support it if I'm elected your treasurer. Thank you very much. And this is a desperate need. My time as a realtor has shown me the horrible housing disparity in this county, up close and personal, and it needs to be addressed. It's something that I will support, win or lose, going forward after November. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Are there any other individuals who are in support, but we didn't have your name? Mr. Bates, please speak. Mr. Bates, we can't hear you, so give us a thumbs up.
There we go. Got it now.
Okay.
Yes, I support this. I've already been speaking with people in my district about this as a candidate, and as a commissioner, I will still support this. And it's a great thing, and we have a lot of potential here that this can grow from. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Is there anyone else?
Oh, Stephanie, I'd like to speak my mind again. I was proposal 4 years ago. I stood up in behalf of it. We have been able to provide over 400 stable homes for homeless families in the Kalamazoo County. We still have so many more that need it. I urge everyone to vote yes. Let's do our part to provide homes for all.
Thank you so much, Mary.
I'd like to say something.
Ma'am, are you
Hello?
in support of this?
Yes, I am.
Initiative? Okay, thank you.
Yep. Can I speak?
Yes, absolutely.
Oh, great. I'm Lisa Brayton. I'm running for your Kalamazoo County Commission District 11. And I would just like to say how proud I am to be part of all of this. As I did my charity, it ran about 16 years for Portage Public Schools and Kalamazoo Country Day School. I found that so many people think that Portage people have money, and through having my charity, they do not. No, they do not. We found, we sheltered, we gifted, and we fed these families for over 16 years. I was at first just in utter shock at how many homeless, middle-class people that lost their homes because of the recession in 2008. And, we found people apartments and got them decorated for Christmas and fed so many people for so many years that I'm just thrilled that to say yes to have this Homes for All so that everyone can have a home and not just people, and like that guy said in the video, people have some money, but they don't have enough money always. And so for all of those people who can give and add on to this for the millage, I say yes. And I'm trying at my practice and as I'm knocking doors to have people to say yes and support all of you, because I think you're doing an awesome job and I'm thrilled to be part of it.
Thank you so much, Lisa.
God
And
bless.
finally, God bless you as well. And finally, Dr. Fran Bruder Melgar, are you on tonight?
Yeah, thank you for waiting until I got home from work. The community, I was still with a seatbelt on most of the way home. So I'm Dr. Fran Bruder Melgar, running as a Kalamazoo County Commissioner to represent District 11. And I feel very strongly that having Homes for All is part of healthcare. In the work that I do working with the rural poor, I see homeless patients all the time, and they may not be homeless on the streets. They may be in a car, or they may be living with a family member, but they're 100% dependent on the generosity of that family member and whatever food that family member allows them to have or shares with them, which makes it really difficult for people to take care of their diabetes and other illnesses. So having the Homes for All for people that are working poor, that have to make a decision between food and a place to live or paying their rent. It's just insane. So I appreciate all the videos that talk about all the details of that issue. And I pledge to support this. I voted for it on the ballot, and I plan to promote it as I'm going around doing the rest of my canvassing.
Thank you so much, Dr.
Hi, Stephanie. Can I speak in support of the millage?
Who is this out here now?
Stephanie Moore.
Yes, absolutely.
Hi. So absolutely, I support the millage. I just would like to say that as someone who has received the Woman of Equity Award from Isaac, because of my history of doing the work, actually passing policy and pushing our county board, I established the Equity Task Force. When the leadership changed, the leadership worked very, very hard to unestablish that Equity Task Force. And to this day, it's still not reinstated, but that task force is working, advising, supporting the policy of the Housing Authority and the work that you all are doing. And so even out here in the community every single day, I live amongst the individuals who are impacted the most. And I am supporting those to not only make sure that they vote, but they vote in favor of the housing millage, but also empower them to be advocates, to support the leaders who are doing this type of work, to push not just the policies, but equitable policies. So thank you all for your hard work. You are amazing. And I'll do everything I can there overwhelmingly. Yes, 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 on November 3rd.
Well, thank you. Thank you to every leader that stood up, stepped up, and spoke up. How about that? Okay.
Others of us speak up.
Please tell everyone you know to vote yes. Turn that ballot over and color it in real dark so it's no mistake as to your vote was yes. And thank you for doing your part to build the beloved community in Kalamazoo County. I'm so excited. Woo!
Is it okay if other people from the county commission and candidates speak in favor of this?
Oh, absolutely. Let's keep it going.
There are quite a few of us here for this purpose, actually.
I'm just saying, okay, y'all all got the memo, but let's get it.
Hi, I'm Jen.
Man, he was the king. I didn't mean to hood it out, but here we go.
Hi, I'm Jen Aniano. You made me laugh. I'm county commissioner for District 6. I'm running for re-election, and I'm also a very proud KPS teacher. Go Knights. I just was simultaneously listening to our board meeting on my other device while we were doing this, and they have declared that KPS students will be virtual again for trimester 2. So I would be remiss as a public school educator during virtual learning if I didn't fully support housing all of the babies in Kalamazoo County. This problem is something that affects many more people and families than you could possibly imagine. I only know because it's in my face every single day. And it's not just city of Kalamazoo, it's all over Kalamazoo County. Housing insecurity and food insecurity are huge issues and huge barriers to learning. So I truly hope everyone here supports this initiative on the ballot and supports any initiatives that will help us feed our kids and keep them housed, especially during virtual learning. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Commissioner Aniano.
Stephanie,
I'm getting several people right now, so if we can put a little order to it, I'm going to go with Commissioner Morris. There was something you wanted to speak?
Yes, thank you so much. Thank you. I'm Christine Morris. I'm Commissioner for District 9, also candidate, the Democratic candidate for State House in the 61st District, which surrounds, which is Portage, Texas, Ashimo, Prairie Run, and Schoolcraft. Thank you for this opportunity. I was one of the 9 that voted yes to put this on the ballot. I was grateful to be able to do that. As a commissioner through Isaac's, I went to Isaac's redlining presentation a couple years ago, and some other experiences that have really highlighted how housing is such a problem in this city, in this community. Between homeless and the need for affordable housing, we really need to do a lot of work, and we need to put all our best and brightest together, and members from the community, so we can make sure we're serving the populations that need the most help. So thank you for having me on tonight, and I will continue to support this millage being passed here in Kalamazoo.
And Commissioner Tracy Hall, next.
Yes, Stephanie, I just want to get on here and say, I'm probably one of those 9 that voted to put on there, but I just want to echo something you and me and several of us have said over the last few months. We have an opportunity to do something really, be bold and do something really amazing. So I can't wait till it passes. Less than 2 weeks, y'all.
Thank you so much. I'm just overwhelmed by all the yeses that are coming through. So Commissioner Place, please speak.
Hey everyone, my name's Meredith Place. I represent the eastern and northern portions of the city of Portage on the Kalamazoo County Board of Commission. I too was one of the 9 that voted in support of putting this measure on the ballot. And I emphatically say yes, yes, homes for all. We are knocking doors every single day and we are passing out this literature. If you need any extra literature, let me know. Let the folks on this call, the organizers know, because we need to let everybody in Kalamazoo County who has not voted yet to turn over their ballot and vote yes.
Thank you. I'm so ecstatic and excited. And like I'm bubbling on the inside, y'all. Y'all don't even know. You're like, people who know me know I got a little hood in me, and I'm ready to run out in the streets. Like, I'm so excited. Thank you so much. Is there anyone else who would like to speak up in favor of a yes vote?
Hi, Stephanie. This is Tammy.
Hey, Tammy. Come on, girl.
Hi, this is Tammy Ray, candidate for Kalamazoo County Commission in District 1. I'm excited to vote yes on November 3rd, and I commit to encouraging other people to vote yes as well. Thank you.
Thank you, everyone, for your yeses, for your support. Housing it is such a need. It is not just a need, it's a right. If you are walking on the earth and you are breathing, you have a right to quality, affordable, efficient, and energy efficient housing in Kalamazoo County. So thank you so much. And we are done. Okay. Yay. Let's get it, y'all.
Awesome. Thank you so much to the Isaac and TRHT Housing Task Force for an awesome presentation, and to all for this display of building the beloved community. Right now in the chat, I ask you to put your hands together and welcome our Isaac Anti-Racism Task Force.
Good evening. My name is Al Dixon. I am a co-chair of the Anti-Racist Task Force. We are committed to anti-racism and racial healing because our history impacts our presence, and we continue to see systemic racism threaded within the practices, the policies of our country, our local communities, and our institutions. We believe we must work together to dismantle systemic racism. And tonight, we seek partnership with our public officials and law enforcement to extend this work with us.
My name is Emily Hazel. I'm the other co-chair of the Anti-Racism Task Force. We're using the term systemic racism, meaning when racism is embedded in the very institutions and organizations of society in such ways that laws, rules, and procedures have been influenced by and perpetuate racism. Systemic racism is often experienced by people of color in ways that are invisible to those who are benefiting from white privilege.
Hello, everyone. You see what Charlotte did? She put a senior here, knowing that I can't multitask. But hi, everyone. Wendy Fields here. Bear with me. So we find far too often many examples of this in our nation and locally as well. People of color disproportionately experience racism on a regular basis. Twice the rate of infant mortality nationally, and nearly 4 times the rate in Kalamazoo. Lower rates of employment compared to employment rates for whites. Higher rates of arrest, incarceration, complaints of excessive use of force, increased rates of violence due to hate crimes, lower wages than our white counterparts for the same work, less access to educational, financial, housing, and healthcare resources.
Good evening. My name is Mike Wood. We're thankful for our elected officials, candidates, and law enforcement officials who are participating today to build this partnership with us and committing to take actions to work towards racial justice and the beloved community. We recognize and we honor the anti-racism work that has already been set in motion by organizations, institutions, and public leaders represented here this evening. We support that work and seek to expand it through the asks being requested tonight in partnership with our community. We believe these asks will benefit our community, law enforcement, and public officials by enabling deeper communication and a shared understanding of systemic racism, by promoting greater trust, improving collaboration, building relationships, and developing anti-racist policies and practices together.
My name is Karen McDonald. I'll be addressing elected officials and candidates. When your name is or your office is called, please unmute your mic to answer yes to the question. You will have 30 seconds or less to respond specifically to these asks. County commissioners and candidates. To deepen your impact of being a public official working with an anti-racist lens, do you commit to attend a public official workshop that focuses on anti-racism, equity, empowerment, and accountability hosted by Isaac? And do you commit to support in word and action the current County Commission proclamation that racism is a public health crisis and communicate your plan for doing this so to the community? I will call 3 names at a time. Please respond in this order. You each have 30 seconds or less. Commissioner Chairperson Hall, Tammy Ray, and Jen Streps.
This is Tracy Hall. I absolutely commit. Most definitely. Thank you.
Good evening. This is Tammy Ray. I'm a candidate for Kalamazoo County Commission. Yes, I'm no stranger to these workshops. I believe they help to deepen my analysis of anti-racism and equity. Attending these workshops together will allow us to hold each other accountable. And although I'm already doing the work through this lens, I'm willing to learn and grow with others who are committed to striving towards the common goal of liberation for all people. Thank you.
Is Jen Streps here? Okay, Andrew Smith, Veronica McKissick, and Valerie Cunningham. Is Andrew Smith here?
Yes, ma'am, I am.
Okay. Would you like to respond?
Yes, I plan to attend Isaac's training, and I oppose racism in all of its forms. However, I would have to add that racism is not a germ. It exists in the ideas and the actions that people take on behalf of those ideas.
Thank you.
And not all public health outcomes can be linked to it.
Veronica, I know you're on.
Yes, ma'am. I'm Veronica McKissick, candidate for the Kalamazoo County Commission, District 5. And yes, I will attend this workshop and continue to do anti-racism work as I've done while serving on the Kalamazoo County Equity Task Force and other boards. Thank you.
Hello, I am Valerie Cunningham, and I am a candidate for the Kalamazoo County Commissioner, District 5. And yes, I to task force training. I am really involved in the active work of tearing down stigmas, breaking down barriers already, especially in mental health, so that we can really receive and work together to break down inequities and make some changes that has impacted our community because of systemic racism. So yes, I am on board 100%.
Thank you. Commissioner Aniano, Anthony Bates, and Keisha Dickinson.
Hi, this is Commissioner Aniano. Yes, I 100% support any and all ways that we can have some healing between each other in the county. And I try every day to teach from an anti-racist lens. And the only way to do that is to keep talking to people and learning and growing. So thank you.
Anthony Bates here. Absolutely will attend. Racism is a personal thing for me. Having a mother that came here as an immigrant from Turkey in 1961, and she has dealt with these issues. I've heard the stories. As a child, I have dealt with them. So this is something that's very personal to me, and you will definitely see me at the workshop.
Thank you. Keisha, I think you're on.
Hello, everyone.
Yeah.
I am Keisha Dickinson, running for District 9 for Texas Township, and I am in support, absolutely yes, to attend all of our racial and equity workshops that will help strengthen our community, help us to be unified more, and also as the district manager for Senator McCann's office, it will help equip me to better serve my constituents that call our office daily. Thank you.
Fran Melgar and Lisa Brayton.
Unmute. Hi, yes, I would like to state that I would welcome the opportunity to attend such a workshop. The last time I got to do anything like that, of that magnitude, was in high school when I was assigned to the Race Relations Committee in my all-girls high school that had a small minority, a small group of minority students, and we were working really to figure out how to embrace our sisters and just learn how to really understand where they were coming from and how we could do a better job of being open and welcoming. I think this is a lifelong journey for all of us to try and figure out how to love completely and indiscriminately. So I look forward to the opportunity to attend.
Thank you.
Hi there, I'm Lisa Brayton, running for Kalamazoo County District 11. And yes, I'm a huge proponent and supportive of it. I'm a huge proponent for education, and I'm willing to do anything and all to make our community a better place. Being from a small town, it has been instilled on me to take care of our neighbors, and I'm hoping to bring that to our bigger town. I don't feel that it just has to be in a small town where we take care of our neighbors. I feel we should take care of everybody wherever we live, no matter big or small. So yes, I will be willing and able and thrilled to be part of your meeting for equity and for everybody to be treated the way that they need to be treated, and hopeful for a better community.
Thank you, all of you. This is for city commissioners and candidates. Are there any, before we do that, are there any other county commissioners or
Yep.
that want to speak?
Christine Morse here.
Mhm.
Yes, I'm Christine Morse. I'm from District 9, and again, I'm candidate for House District 61. And absolutely, I would be happy to attend an anti-racism seminar. I have much to learn, and I look forward to growing as a person and learning more about how we can make change at the local and the state level, and what would help our community the most. Thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else? Julie?
Sure. Julie Rogers, also County Commissioner. Like Christine mentioned earlier, many of us attended the redlining workshop that Isaac sponsored, so thank you so much for putting that on. I also have attended several anti-racism trainings over the years, and I think it's not a one and done. We all have to continuously learn, just like every aspect of our lives. So thank you for the opportunity. I feel like it would equip us all in our individual lives as well as service as public servants. Also, I think the majority of us at the County Commission are going to be receiving some anti-racism training after the election too. Thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else from the county candidate or?
Hi, this is Stephanie Moore.
Okay, Stephanie.
So I'm super proud to say that I wrote that resolution, introduced it to the county board, and after a huge fight with my colleagues and over 1,000 people sending in emails to support that resolution, it passed. I want to say that I support your effort to do the training because it's critical. I'm the only person that has training in equity and social justice. I'm the only one that's certified in anti-racism work. And so it's extremely difficult to work with folks who don't have that balance and that level of expertise and that equity lens. And what my intention to say here is that everybody are very good and well-intentioned individuals, but if you don't have that specific training, especially when it comes to policy and budgeting, it will not always be equitable, fair, and just. So please, I will more than happy attend the training, continue to support the work, and happy that you all are pushing this work. It was a labor of love, very much needed, and that's what's going to help keep Kalamazoo County moving forward, is those resolutions that are now in place. Thank you.
Hi, this is Gary Mitchell.
Gary Mitchell.
I'm also a candidate for the 60th District State House of Representatives. And I'd like to say thank you, first of all, for inviting me here. And I absolutely am looking forward to taking those classes. So thank you.
Hi, my name is Doreen Gardner, and I'm a candidate for Kalamazoo County Clerk. And I want to thank you for offering this because there is systemic racism is real in Kalamazoo County. Voter suppression is real in Kalamazoo County. And I don't know if you all noticed, but the difference in the tone, even from us on the call, from when we were just talking about TRHT and how happy everybody was to when we started talking about race, how tense it seems like the tension in the faces changed. So I think that that's just a sign that it's something that really needs to be dealt with in our county, and that the systemic racism is real. And I'm thanking you for the opportunity for us to be able to come together, because that's what I'm all about. I am about speaking the truth. If I see it, I'm going to call it, because unless you address it, things will never change. So I thank you for the opportunity to bring us all together, and I'm hoping that everyone will attend so that we can begin to address these issues, so that we can look like our community. We are a diverse community, but yet when I look at the seats at the table, there's not the inclusion that should be of people of color. So I thank you for the opportunity to bring us together so that we can work together.
Thank you, Doreen.
Thank you.
Meredith.
And I'm gonna lean in just for a second, and I appreciate the excitement because some people are answering, and which is awesome. And we have you on the agenda to answer a little later too for that same question. But that excitement around anti-racism, equity, and accountability, that is beautiful. And so thank you, thank you, thank you. Are there any other county commissioners or individuals who are running for county commissioners that want to lean in? And then if not, we'll go to the city, and then we'll keep going to the different candidates. So we make sure we get everybody.
Thank you, Dr. Shirley.
No problem.
For city commissioners, in order to address systemic racism in our city, do you commit to stand in your role of city commissioner by considering community input, and holding systems accountable, and to deepen your impact of being a public official working with an anti-racist lens, do you commit to attend a public official workshop and focus on anti-racism, equity, empowerment, and accountability hosted by Isaac? And I'll read names off again. Mayor Anderson, Vice Mayor Griffin, and Commissioner Urban. Are you here?
Yes, this is David Anderson. I have the honor of serving as mayor in the city of Kalamazoo. And yes, I continue to support this critically important work.
Thank you.
Good evening, everyone.
Okay.
Good evening, everyone. Yes.
Good evening, everyone. I'm Jack Urban. Yes, I welcome a booster shot. I need these trainings, and I learned so much, and I make new relationships with colleagues who attend with me, and it keeps me on track. I'm happy to go to these things.
Thank you. Commissioner Cunningham, Commissioner Hess, and Commissioner Pradel.
Thank you, Isaac, for your work and the opportunity to speak today. My name is Eric Cunningham. I am an elected official for the city of Kalamazoo. I inherently was born with an anti-racist lens, not just because I'm African American, but in reality, we were all born with an anti-racist lens. So then as we were raised, we were taught racial biases and racism. The reason why I'm saying yes to this specifically is because as a leader, I wouldn't ask you to go through anti-racism training and other trainings if I wasn't willing to do so myself. I just want to add, the difference between this moment and others in the past is that it's our families, friends, neighbors, coworkers, et cetera, who aren't necessarily individuals of color who are taking up the fight. So I want to encourage everyone to continue to love and stay in the fight, as a lot of these issues, began generations before we were even here.
Right.
Hi, I'm Jean Hess, City of Kalamazoo Commissioner, and I believe that community is a verb, and that the word means to have charge of together, that we all have charge together. I respectfully and humbly accept this commitment to training and practice in anti-racism as I hold the beloved community as my vision. Thank you, Isaac, for this opportunity of holy reflection as I continue to serve those who have placed their trust in me. Thank you.
Commissioner Pradel.
Good evening, everybody. Chris Pradel, Kalamazoo City Commissioner. Absolutely. I look forward to being on this journey together with everyone here and with the community. Thank you.
Thank you. Are there any other commissioners? And then we'll move on to other public officials. Fran Melgar, did you wish to speak?
This is for this, and this is for the city commission.
Oh, no, go ahead.
These are for the city commissioners.
Go ahead on.
No, I'll continue, Fran, but I know I'll be getting to you.
Okay.
Okay. State Representatives, District 60th, and Representatives in Congress and District 6. To deepen your impact of being a public official working with an anti-racist lens, do you commit to attend a public official workshop that focuses on anti-racism, equity, empowerment, and accountability, hosted by Isaac? You have 30 seconds to respond yes, in this order. I want to make a comment here. There was supposed to be a representative from Congress Upton's office, Nivea Marquez, and she was unable to attend due to a family emergency today, and sends the following words. Congressman Upton supports and plans to attend this important workshop on anti-racism, equity, empowerment, and accountability. Representative Holdley, are you here to respond?
Yes, and that's an emphatic yes to attend a workshop
and continue the work we have to do on anti-racism to deal with our structural racism issues.
Thank you. I'll read three names again: Gary Mitchell, Commissioner Moore, and Commissioner Rogers.
And then I know you all responded, is that correct? You all responded to that question? Okay.
Did
awesome.
Commissioner Rogers respond?
Yes.
Okay, I'm sorry. Okay,
Moore did,
so we
and-
all covered, okay. Are
Thank
there any other candidates who would like to comment? To deepen your impact, this is for county clerk candidates. To deepen your impact of being a public official working with an anti-racist lens, do you commit to attend a public official workshop that focuses on anti-racism, equity, empowerment, and accountability, hosted by Isaac? And as part of the Kalamazoo County Apportionment Commission, do you commit to work to end local gerrymandering? That is, to ensure fair district lines and to work to end systemic voter suppression in Kalamazoo. Please respond in this order. You each have 30 seconds. Commissioner Meredith Place, Mona Lisa, and Doreen Gardner.
Good evening again, Meredith Place, Commissioner, and also candidate for Kalamazoo County Clerk, Register of Deeds. Yes, and yes. I am committed to attending the anti-racism workshop and will, if elected, encourage all the staff in Kalamazoo County Clerk and Register of Deeds office, which includes over 10 individuals, to also take anti-racism workshop and become a more culturally competent staff at the county. In addition, I also believe that adequate funding and representation are on the line if we do not have a clerk who is fighting for fair and equitable boundaries as a member of the Apportionment Committee. Thank you again for having me. And again, yes and yes.
Thank you.
This is Mona Lisa Watson, Kalamazoo County Clerk and Register of Deeds candidate. My answer to both questions are yes. Micah 6 and 8 says, for us to love mercy, act with justice, and to walk humbly with our God. As the granddaughter of a Black World War II veteran who also marched on the front lines in Greenwood, Mississippi with the late Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. for voter rights, I proudly stand on a legacy that is committed to fighting injustices and treating every person with equity, dignity, and respect. Next year, the Kalamazoo County Clerk's Office will assist with drawing lines based on the 2020 census. As your next County Clerk and Register of Deeds, I promise to make sure all county residents are fairly represented. Thank you.
Thank you all.
Was that all?
County Treasurer candidates. To deepen.
You forgot one.
Oh,
Yeah.
excuse me,
Yes.
I'm sorry, Doreen.
That's okay. Yep,
Yeah,
there
go
you
ahead,
go.
Doreen.
That's
Yeah.
okay. I already spoke anyway. But anyway, the answer is yes and yes. And so you already know where I'm at with the anti-racism. Also, and when it comes to the Kalamazoo County Clerk's Office and the redistricting and the gerrymandering, absolutely. I believe that we need somebody that is fair, that is has high integrity, and I will absolutely do my very, very best to make sure that that the county lines are drawn that will be well representative of our county and be equitable to everyone in the county.
Thank you all. Thank you. County Treasurer candidates. To deepen your impact of being a public official working with an anti-racist lens, do you commit to attend a public official workshop that focuses on anti-racism, equity, empowerment, and accountability, hosted by Isaac? And as part of the Kalamazoo County Apportionment Commission, do you commit to work to end local gerrymandering, that is to ensure fair district lines, and to work to end systemic voter suppression in Kalamazoo? County Treasurer Mary Balkema, you have 30 seconds to respond.
Thanks, Karen. I would be happy to continue the anti-racism training. I started that training when I was on the Kalamazoo City Commission and have continued that through my public service career. So I'm happy to take the training. And the second question, I will be happy to follow the law that requires county commission districts to be contiguous and have approximately equal population. Districts should follow existing precinct lines and when possible, should not split smaller cities and townships. I will do so while upholding the Voting Rights Act as it applies to political districts. When I was on the Alash Apportionment Commission, I worked closely with both parties on the lines, and it was one of the few times that we had a unanimous vote on the districts. Thank you.
Thank you. Did I miss any candidates who would like to commit?
Thomas Whitener for County Treasurer. My answer is yes and yes. Anti-racism training is something that I've dedicated myself to in my own free time and in my work as a realtor. It is something that affects the way that we do our business in real estate every day. And it's something that is very important to me personally with the way that I'm raising my daughter. As far as the gerrymandering and redistricting the lines, I despise gerrymandering. My grandfather was United States House of Representatives and was gerrymandered out of his seat twice. And as someone who has seen the effects of that, I will work to end it in our county. I was happy to support the anti-gerrymandering amendment that we made, that we got through on the ballot in 2018. And I will be excited to work towards ending gerrymandering in our county after 2020. Thank you.
Thank you. Is there anyone else that we've missed? Thank you all very much for your commitment.
Well, good evening. I am Reverend Jocelyn Mason. Law enforcement officials of the judicial system, leaders, and candidates, when your name or the office you are representing is called, please unmute your mic to answer yes to this question. You will have 30 seconds or less to respond specifically to these asks. Prosecutor and Kalamazoo defenders, do you commit to work with the Anti-Racism Task Force from October 2020 to October 2021 to build a culture of trust and legitimacy between our law enforcement, criminal justice, and our community, as exemplified in Pillar 1 of the President's Task Force on 21st Century Policing? This would include collaborating on the following. Share what is already being done in your department, agency around trust, transparency, anti-racism, education, and training. Educational components including the History of Law and Racism workshop and a follow-up debriefing session. Acknowledgement of harm to facilitate healing and trust. Participate in collective visioning and movement sessions with law enforcement, criminal justice, and community neighborhood groups for relationship building through local anti-racism and healing work together. And do you commit to attending a cultural competency workshop focused on working with immigrant community members facilitated by El Concilio? And Kalamazoo defenders, do you commit to give a workshop presentation about your work for our Indigenous community members? And prosecutor, as part of the Kalamazoo County Apportionment Commission, do you commit to work to end local gerrymandering, that is, to ensure fair district lines and to work to end systematic voter suppression in Kalamazoo? You will have on in this order. Prosecutor Getting and Kalamazoo Defenders Director Josh Hilgart.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Jeff Getting. I'm the Kalamazoo County Prosecuting Attorney. First, let me take a second to thank everyone for attending this Isaacs Convention and for your commitment to making Kalamazoo a better place. It's always heartening to see all the good people and all the good work that is being done. Second, absolutely, I commit to all of the asks of Isaac and to working together with all of you and each of our partners in making, in answering each of those asks. Lastly, I'd like to say that I will continue to work to ensure that my office, the Office of the Prosecuting Attorney, and our criminal justice systems, both locally and at the state level, address systemic racism so that we have a system that is fair and just for all. Thank you.
All right, thank you. Kalamazoo Department of Public Safety and the City of Kalamazoo.
And then Reverend Mason, Josh Hilgart, we have one more. Sorry, Josh, Director.
Hi, I'm Josh Hilgart, the Executive Director at Kalamazoo Defender. And thank you, Isaac, for inviting our organization here tonight. Yes, and yes, we do commit to each of these asks. The systemic racism embodied in our penal system was one of the motivations for founding Kalamazoo Defender. We have set as our goal to improve our service to our clients and our clients' community with every week and month as we're learning what the community needs and wants. And so in that respect, engaging in Isaac's requests furthers our mission and makes us a better organization. So thank you.
All right. Thank you. And Kalamazoo Department of Public Safety and the City of Kalamazoo, do you commit to work with the Anti-Racism Task Force from October 2020 to October 21 to build a culture of trust and legitimacy between our law enforcement, criminal justice, and our community, as exemplified in Pillar 1 of the President's Task Force on 21st Century Policing? This would include collaborating on the following: share what is already being done in your department agency around trust, transparency, anti-racism, education, and training. Educational components including the history of law and racism workshop and a follow-up debriefing session. The acknowledgement of harm to facilitate healing and trust. Participate in collective visioning and movement sessions. Groups for relationship building through local anti-racism and healing work together. And you commit to attending a cultural competency workshop focused on working with immigrant community members facilitated by El Concilio. And you commit to maintain local policy that protect and respect the rights of all immigrant and undocumented community members and support existing city and county resolutions to give you the right to not collaborate with Immigration and Customs Enforcement, ICE. Deputy Manager Laura Lamb and Chief Vernon Coakley, you have 30 seconds to respond. Kalamazoo Department of Public Safety.
Good evening. On behalf of City Manager Jim Ritzema, I'd like to state the City of Kalamazoo's commitment to continue our partnership with Isaac and our beloved community on our anti-racism work. We recognize that we have work to do. I'm here with Chief Vernon Coakley to speak to these requests. As many of you already know, Chief Coakley is deeply passionate about Kalamazoo. His enthusiasm for community collaboration is inspiring. City of Kalamazoo administration stands with Chief Coakley and KDPS in the work ahead with Isaac.
Thank you, Deputy City Manager Laura Lamb. Good evening, community. I'm excited to see so many faces. Oh, this is awesome. It's past my bedtime, but that's okay. I'm hanging out with you, okay? I'm hanging out. But absolutely, I will respond yes to all the asks. We have work to do. And I'm excited to be a part of this. I'm excited to be a part of this community. This community adopted me back in 1985, and it's never let me go. So I'm excited. I know that there's work to be done in KDPS. we're doing some great things, like our pastors are on patrol. We have our oversight committee with the Citizens Public and Safety Review and Appeal Board, our Citizens Academy, our Bigs and Little, which is our mentoring program. We're out there, all 252 officers are community police officers. I like to say, in a better word, they're servant leaders, because they need and they will serve our community. But I also like to touch a little bit on our fair and impartial policing, our training, our education, implicit bias, and we have generational divide. But in our implicit bias, we do have some internal instructors that teach those classes, but I didn't stop there. I took it outside and I went and got a national trainer, Dr. Brian T. Marks, who is an outstanding educator and teacher of implicit and explicit biases. He was one of the formal teachers to help President Obama's 21st century policing model, which technically is our Bible. We will strive to be better, Kalamazoo. Grab hold on, because we're going to go in places. So I appreciate the opportunity. Thank you so much. We will get better. Thank you.
All right. And thank you. And so Sheriff Richard Fuller and candidate Shannon Bagley. So regretfully, Sheriff Fuller could not attend our meeting tonight due to the untimely death of his mother. And so we send our prayers to him and to his family. And so to candidate Shannon Bagley, do you commit to work with the Anti-Racism Task Force from October 2020 to October 2021 to build a culture of trust and legitimacy between our law enforcement, criminal justice, and our community, as exemplified in Pillar 1 of the President's Task Force on 21st Century Policing? This would include collaborating on the following: share what is already being done in your department agency around trust, transparency, anti-racism, education, and training. Educational components, educational components, including the History of Law and Racism workshop and a follow-up debriefing.
Are you still there, Reverend Mason?
I think we have some technical difficulties, Dr. Charlay.
Yes, I know she was having problems with the internet going in and out on her, and it was dropping her off. Okay, so
I can speak to that if that's okay, if that's all right.
I can go ahead and finish reading, and then we'll go ahead and hand it right over to you. Okay,
certainly.
Candidate Bagley. So I think the last thing that I heard, a History of Law and Racism workshop and follow-up debriefing session, acknowledgement of harm to facilitate healing and trust, participate in collective visioning and movement sessions with law enforcement and criminal justice in the community and neighborhood groups for relationship building through local anti-racism and healing work together. And do you commit to attending a cultural competency workshop focused on working with immigrant community members facilitated by El Concilio? So candidate Shannon Bagley, you have 30 seconds to respond.
Well, thank you, Doctor. Once again, this is Shannon Bagley, candidate for the Kalamazoo County Office of Sheriff. I want to first start by saying we are at not only a watershed moment nationally in regards to a relationship between our community and law enforcement, but here locally as well. I don't think it's any accident that the first pillar of the President Obama's 21st century policing was building trust and creating legitimacy. I think the foundation, not only of that pillar, but on the other five, are through the vehicle of relationship and how we can utilize these relationships to be much more intentional and to be much more meaningful so that we can achieve the goals and objectives as a community. I, of course, support the asks that you've mentioned. And I think it's not only do I think it's invaluable, I think that if elected, we would not only embrace those asks, but we would bring that training to the Sheriff's Department on an annual basis. So thank you for this opportunity. Thank you for making me part of this. And definitely, yes, appreciate it.
Okay. So on behalf of the Anti-Racism Task Force, we thank you for your commitment and look forward to our ongoing collaboration.
Thank you so very much. Thank you for a powerful presentation and display of collaboration. And so next we have our last and final presentation. Please put your hands together in the chat section for the Gun Violence Prevention Task Force.
Hi, thank you. Good evening. My name is Rick O'Million. I'm the co-chair of the Isaac Gun Violence Prevention Task Force. I'm here with my wife, Martha, who just slid down out of the way, but she's also a member of the task force, and we are a team together. 1 year ago, we stood before the community at the Isaac Issues Convention and shared statistics and news headlines about gun violence in Kalamazoo County in 2019. Gun violence within our community has shifted under COVID-19. Through October 13th, 2020, there have been 61 non-fatal shootings in Kalamazoo and 11 deaths that have been a result of gun violence. In all of 2019, there were 31 non-fatal shootings in the city and 7 shooting deaths. This past weekend has brought another death and injury in Kalamazoo. In the past 3 years, firearm suicides continue to comprise approximately 60% of firearm deaths in the county. We cannot ignore any of these firearm deaths. We must act to change this.
Hello, everyone. My name is Ed Genesis. I'm a community outreach coordinator for the Gun Violence Prevention Task Force. Numbers and statistics do not tell the whole story of what continual gun violence does to families and the community as a whole. Too many dreams have been permanently deferred due to gun violence. Hopes are being crushed by gun violence. Living with persistent gun violence is the equivalent of living in a war zone. Gun violence causes trauma to our bodies and minds. Those we lose to gun violence are mothers, fathers, sisters, brothers, daughters, sons, and loved ones. This is why we need to have conversations about trauma. Please watch for the following community activities. October 24th, Walk to End Gun Violence at 11:30 a.m. meeting at Farrell Park, ending at Lacrone Park for a mural unveiling to commemorate those we have lost due to gun violence. Also, October 30th, It's a Trip event. Trauma Reduced Informed Practices event will be a virtual event from 6 to 8 p.m. Registration information can be found in the chat. This will be a panel discussion with community leaders featuring keynote speaker, Dr. Jess Clemens.
Good evening. My name is Tammy Ray, co-chair of the Isaac Gun Violence Prevention Task Force. Please watch and listen to members of your community who have been impacted by gun violence.
Survivors are not only those who witness or are wounded or hurt by gun violence, but survivors are also those who either know or have a loved one who was also either involved in a domestic assault, an unintentional killing, or suicide.
My name is Gwendolyn Lewis, and I am the mother of Shaquita Quan Lewis.
My grandson, Devontae Coleman, was murdered on July 22nd.
My name is Pat Strumsta. I'm a gun violence survivor, and I've been asked to share my story with you. This story is about me and my brother Steve.
She was taken away from me, or taken away from us, on July the 15th of 2019 by the hands of her kid's father with a handgun. On that day, my life stopped. Oh my God.
Devontae was a good person. He didn't deserve to die. I've had 5 people, more than 5 people in my immediate family that has been murdered. 5 people. That's not acceptable. We as a community, we are embracing this gun violence. We are incorporating it into our culture. The rappers glorify it. We just need to do better.
Steve's illness was mental illness, and it manifested itself in depression and anxiety. And he took the gun and he shot himself in the head. A violent, gun-violent death. That gunshot not only shattered and killed him, but it shattered the lives of everyone in my family. I can only imagine the despair of the policemen who found him, of those who had to identify him.
They lost their mom, and they all took it in different ways. Some cried, some didn't, some don't even know what's going on. All they know is that mom is gone, and she's not coming back. And they still having problems right now today with anger issues, being depressed. Guns is not the way. And if you do have a gun, please, please lock it up.
That was very powerful. Thank you to those who shared their story with us. As a task force, we are committed to working together with other organizations and community members to reduce gun violence. We believe it is critically important to work with law enforcement officials to deepen our trust, communication, brainstorming, and gun violence prevention work together.
My name is Wendy Flora, a member of the Gun Violence Prevention Task Force. Tonight, we have a number of asks of community law enforcement leads, candidates, and our prosecutor. We believe that what we are asking will strengthen mutual trust, build our capacity to communicate openly and effectively, and allow the community to work more collaboratively with law enforcement and others for the safety, health, and welfare of everyone. When we call your name, please unmute your microphone and respond yes. You will be given 30 seconds to respond with your support. Please keep your responses to 30 seconds. Prosecutor Jeff Getting, we have 3 questions for you. Do you commit to attend or view the It's a Trip Trauma Reduced Informed Practice panel and keynote virtual event that focuses on trauma and violence on October 30th at 6 p.m. and to debrief in November with the Isaac Gun Violence Prevention Task Force? Second, do you commit to monthly meetings with impacted neighbor representatives who are living in the neighborhoods with high gun violence to discuss and brainstorm around decreasing gun violence? And third, do you commit to exploring within the community provision of longer-term trauma services to victims of gun violence and their families, also the families of those charged or convicted of this violence? You have 30 seconds to respond.
Thank you, Wendy. Yes, I commit to all 3 of the asks for Isaac. There are a lot of problems in Kalamazoo that need to be addressed, but few are as permanent as gun violence. Gun violence takes the life of a loved one. It forever changes a family. It forever changes our community. In the persons that are the perpetrators of that gun violence, it forever changes them and their families as well. We need to do something about the situation we find ourselves in. As was noted, it's been less than a week since the last person was killed by a gun. We hear the same thing over and over and over and over. Wouldn't it be great if instead of what we normally hear, we started to hear there were no shootings this week, there were no shootings this month, there were no shootings last year? Why can't we have that be our norm instead of there was another shooting last night? Thank you.
Thank you. For Kalamazoo Department of Public Safety, Chief Coakley, we have 4 questions for you. Do you commit to attend or view the It's a Trip Trauma Reducing Informed Practice Panel and Keynote virtual event that focuses on trauma and violence on October 30th at 6 p.m. and to debrief in November with the Isaac Gun Violence Prevention Task Force? Number 2, do you commit to attending or assigning a command staff to attend neighborhood monthly meetings for information sharing, discussion of concerns, and updates around gun violence? Number 3, do you commit to either attend or assign a command staff to regularly attend as one representative from KDPS, the Kalamazoo Advocates and Leaders for Police and Community Trust, or ALPACT meetings? And number 4, do you commit to assign at least 1 to 2 community police officers as representatives to attend the first part of the Isaac Gun Violence Prevention Task Force monthly meetings? You have 30 seconds to respond.
Thank you, Wendy. I'd just like to have a moment of silence for those 11 lives we lost in our community this year. Thank you. You know, every day as a public safety officer, but more importantly, as a man, as a human being, we get up every day looking to do life's work, whatever your life's work is set to be. And to be interrupted by gun violence, to be taken away from a family in order to move and do what your life's work is, to be removed from family, especially in the Black and brown community. Right now, this is the new pandemic. And if we as a community don't change, if we as people don't change, we won't get better. We can no longer point the finger at one another. We can no longer say it's their job, it's their issue, it's the police issue, it's the community's issue. No, it's our issue. I'm quite tired of getting up in the middle of the night to read texts that say we have a homicide or a shooting. I'm quite tired of it. Let's stand together, community. Let's bring a better Kalamazoo, a better Southwest Michigan, a better Michigan, a better country. Let's be that Kalamazoo that leads the country in making the change. I hold up the families. I hold up the community, but I have to add this thing to the men and women of Kalamazoo Public Safety and our law enforcement partners, because they receive trauma too. When they're saving lives, I hold them up too. Trauma is for our community, and that's everybody in it. We got to use the L word more. Love one another. We have to love one another. Gun violence can't be our remedy to fix what we disagree in. Let's continue to love everybody. Love one another as you love yourself, and thank you.
Was that a yeah, Chief?
That's a yes, Big Ed. That's a yes.
Thank you, sir.
I apologize if I didn't say it. That's a big yes.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir, bro. Thank you.
Thank you, Chief Coakley.
Thank you.
And thanks to Ed for asking for the clarification.
I got a little lost there. I apologize. I apologize.
That's bro, so I can ask.
No, you're good.
Even though he's the chief, that's bro. He's very down to earth and in the community, so I had to. Yeah. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, Chief. We have 3 questions for Sheriff Fuller and for Sheriff candidate Shannon Bagley. As you heard earlier, Sheriff Fuller lost his mother this week and his sister a little over a week ago. So he's struggling right now, and we continue to pray for his family. He did respond with an email, which I will read following the reading of the questions and candidate Bagley's responses. Number 1, Shannon, do you commit to attend or view the It's a Trip Trauma Reducing Informed Practice panel and keynote event that focuses on trauma and violence on October 30th at 6 p.m. and to debrief in November with the Isaac Gun Violence Prevention Task Force? Number 2, do you commit to make your agency's annual your agency's annual report available on the website, as well as offering opportunities for asking questions from the community by uploading this to your website? Number 3, do you commit on behalf of the county or township, or excuse me, the county, to work collaboratively with Isaac Gun Violence Prevention Task Force in developing, disseminating, analyzing, and debriefing a trust survey or safety survey?
Well, thank you. That is a yes to all 3 of those. And I would just like to say another thing as far as what I would commit to if elected to the office of sheriff. Prior to me making a decision to run here for this office and prior to my retirement, I worked as the division commander and captain of our detective bureau. Unfortunately, I had to respond to many of the shootings in Kalamazoo and had interaction with family members of those that were lost to gun violence. This is a tragic, horrific goings on in our community, and we need to do better. So not to mention the 3 questions, which is overwhelmingly a yes. The 4th thing is I would commit to is absolutely working collaboratively in a true partnership with not only Kalamazoo Department of Public Safety, but all of our law enforcement agencies here in Kalamazoo. This isn't a Kalamazoo city problem. This is a Kalamazoo County problem. And quite frankly, we need to be much better at working collaboratively so that we can have impact within our communities. Safety is for all communities, and I will work with everyone to make this happen and get it done in a much more meaningful way. So it is overwhelmingly yes. Thank you.
Thank you. And our response from Sheriff Fuller: Isaac is a community partner of mine, and I will be in attendance. Well, he thought he would be in attendance this evening, right? As a community partner of Isaac, I commit to attend and view the Trauma Reducing Informed Practice virtual event. I commit to making the Kalamazoo County Sheriff's Office annual report available on the Sheriff's Office website. And I commit to continue working with Isaac Gun Violence Prevention Task Force by helping with a trust or safety survey. The Isaac Gun Violence Prevention Task Force thanks all of our law enforcement partners for their commitments tonight. Thank you.
Wendy.
Dexter.
Wendy.
Hello, Mr.
Hello.
Mitchell, how are you?
I am outstanding.
Okay. I did not know you were on tonight.
Yes, ma'am. I've been on since the beginning. I just want to hesitate to make sure that I have an opportunity to speak. May I please have that moment?
Yes, of course.
Thank you so much. So thank you very much for Isaac, and moreover, Elder King, who did make the statement that other municipalities are working to continue to go down this road. Kalamazoo Charter Township, which is wrapped around the city of Kalamazoo, is still here, is still diligent with their own police department. So thank you for doing that. We are familiar with the 21st century policing model from President Obama. We are also uniquely familiar with President Obama's My Brother's Keeper. So when we are starting to put these together, we want to make sure that Kalamazoo Township has gone through, our police officers have gone through cultural bias awareness, implicit bias awareness, de-escalation, and moreover, We will continue to make ourselves available to Isaac and to our beloved community to make sure they know that we're out there and in the police with them. We are also working on developing our community policing program, and we'll continue to make ourselves aware so that when we have these forums, that there is an opportunity for us to participate in it. Thank you so much for your time, and we will still continue to work to develop a police department that mirrors the community to which it serves.
Thank you so much, Mr. Mitchell. I apologize. I did not realize you were on the line tonight, and we appreciate you being here.
No problem. We stand ready to go to work. Community, please allow us to help you.
Thank you.
So thank you, everyone, to all the task forces for your presentations. We want to thank you for the Housing Task Force and the Anti-Racism Task Force, the Gun Violence Task Force. Thank you for your diligence, your dedication to making Kalamazoo more of a beloved community. Thank you to everyone who responded to all of the asks. There were a number of them. And so again, these asks will go on. And so thank you for your commitment to this community, to the broader community. We appreciate you and we honor you for the work that you have committed to carry out in the near future. There's a saying at this point, it said, I guess there's nothing to it but to do it. And so we are ready to go forth and to work and to get this done. So thank you.
My name is Shamika. I have a felony record and I vote.
Hi, my name is Esteban.
Katie. Kim.
What's up? My name is Ed Genesis. Bill.
Michael Wilder.
I have a felony record and I vote.
I have a felony record and I vote.
I have a felony and I vote.
I'm a felon and I vote.
I have a felony record and I vote.
I have a felony and I also vote.
Election day is the one day when all of our voices are equal.
Voter suppression silences the people in minority communities.
You can vote if you have a felony on your record.
When you vote in your community, it gives you the power to speak to the people in power of your community.
So make sure you know your rights and vote in every election.
Many people of color have marched, fought, and died so that you could have the right to vote.
You have to vote to put the people you want to an office to represent your neighborhood and to fight for the agenda you want to see pushed.
In the state of Michigan, people with felony records retain their voting rights. So as people begin to vote this election year, it's important to understand what Michigan law says about your ability to cast a vote in our elections. People confined in jail or in prison who are awaiting arraignment or trial are still eligible to vote. A person has their voting rights restored the day they are released from jail or prison after serving their sentence, even if they are on probation or parole. In Michigan, you can vote even if you have a felony on your record. If you're not registered, you can fill out a voter registration application in person at any Secretary of State branch office or at your county, township, city clerk's office, or at a voter registration drive. You can go to Michigan Secretary of State's website to check your voting registration status. This video is brought to you by the Kalamazoo Metropolitan Branch of the NAACP.
I must confess, my friends, that the road ahead will not always be smooth. There will still be rocket paces of frustration and meandering points of bewilderment. There will be inevitable setbacks here and there. There will be those moments when the buoyancy of hope will be transformed into the fatigue of despair. Our dreams will sometime be shattered, and our ethereal hopes blasted. We may again, with tear-drenched eyes, have to stand before the bier of some courageous civil rights worker whose life will be snuffed out by the dastardly acts of bloodthirsty mobs. But difficult and painful as it is, we must walk on in the days ahead with an audacious faith in the future. And as we continue our charted course, we may gain consolation from the words so nobly left by that great black Bart, was also a great freedom fighter of yesterday, James Weldon Johnson. Stony the road we trod, bitter the chastening rod, felt in the days when hope unborn had died. Yet with a steady beat have not our weary feet come to the place for which our fathers sighed. We have come over the way that with tears has been watered. We have come treading our path through the blood of the slaughtered, out from the gloomy past, till now we stand at last, where the bright gleam of our bright star is cast. Let this affirmation be our ringing cry. It will give us the courage to face the uncertainties of the future. It will give our tired feet new strength as we continue our forward stride toward the city of freedom. When our days become dreary with low hovering clouds of despair, when our nights become darker than 1,000 midnights, let us remember that there is a creative force in this universe working to pull down the gigantic mountains of evil, a power that is able to make a way out of no way and transform dark yesterdays into bright tomorrows. Let us realize that the arc of the moral universe is long, but it bends toward justice. Let us realize that William Cullen Bryant is right. Truth crushed to earth will rise again. This is our hope for the future. With this faith, we will be able to sing in some not too distant tomorrow with a cosmic past tense. We have overcome. We have overcome. Deep in my heart, I did believe we would overcome.
Gonna keep on moving forward. Keep on moving forward. Keep on moving forward. Never turning back. Never turning back. Sigamos adelante. Siempre adelante. Siempre adelante. Sin volver atrás. Sin volver atrás. Gonna keep on loving boldly. Keep on loving boldly. Keep on loving boldly. Never turning back. Never turning back. Amaremos con pasión. Siempre con pasión. Siempre con pasión, sin volver atrás, sin volver atrás. Gonna reach across our borders, reach across our borders, reach across our borders. Never turning back, never turning back. Vivamos sin fronteras, siempre sin fronteras, siempre sin fronteras, sin volver atrás, sin volver atrás. Gonna reunite the family, reunite the family, reunite the family. Never turning back, never turning back. familias reunidas, siempre reunidas, siempre reunidas, sin volver atrás, sin volver atrás. Gonna keep on moving forward, keep on moving forward, keep on moving forward, never turning back, 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 never turning back.
We'd like to offer a special thank you to Caleb, our amazing technical person. Want to give him great thanks for all of his technical work in order to be able to pull this off. Please let's recognize the leadership of the Isaac Executive Director, Dr. Charlay Davis. We are grateful for her leadership to take us through to this point, to Amy Peterson taking pictures and all of those who have done such a great deal to carry out this work. Let us move forward, and there is no turning back. Thank you, everyone. Have an amazing night, and thank you for participating in our Isaac 2020 virtual public meeting. Have an amazing night. Good night.